I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought and died just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another role.
Hello, and welcome to Season 36, Episode 6 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. My name is Kimmy.
I'm Joey.
I'm Kadave.
And I'm Vixie.
In today's episode, Kurt from Alaska, also known as Captain Kurt, asks how to create a sense of importance with low-level PCs. Mike from New York State asks about playing in actual plays versus home games. And from the Archive 2019, Uncommon Man from Sweden asks about play-by-post games. If you'd like to contribute a question or topic for the show, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. Or you can post in the mailbag channel of the Discord. It's all organized now, and so you can see like all the mailbag. It's very nice. So if you're in the Discord, you can go to happyjacks.org/discord and post there, or send us an email the old-fashioned way.
It's weird that emails are now snail
I
mail.
know, super
Oh,
old-fashioned.
God. It feels very old.
I know.
feel
I'm
very
like,
old
oh
sometimes.
God, I have to send an email and wait for someone to reply. Like, it
Gosh.
seems like so long.
It's like sending a telegram at this point.
It really
Or-
is. Like,
It is, or it feels really formal, like,
Yeah.
I'm writing you a very important invitation to my, that kind of thing. So,
I've been doing that via text message to my wife. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm redoing our backyard. So I keep, like, after I finish up for the morning, when the temperature gets too hot, I come inside. I send it, like, an update text message as, like, a Ken Burns documentary letter. Like, dearest wife, I once again returned from the front.
I love that.
Your wife is such a lucky lady. That's amazing. Oh, I'm gonna steal that idea too, because I do the artwork in our family. So I'm just be like,
Delightful, yeah.
dearest husband, I have once again returned from weeding the front yard. The mulch has been spread, and I believe it is successful.
I think Claire and I did something like that during one of the many War on Christmases. We sent messages
my
back and forth
God.
thing on Facebook as like Civil War era letters.
Amazing. So good. I know there's an RPG that does that. I bought it thinking Sam and I would eventually play it someday. I don't know if we ever will, but. All right, sorry. Yes. Announcements. Our next game days is right around the corner, October 25th. You can join us on the Discord to run or play great games. It's free, inclusive, accepting, and safety tools are required for all games. Once again, that's happyjacks.org/Discord. So far, we have an Outgunned game, an Alien RPG, a Brindlewood Bay game, a Run game, a Roll for Shoes Pokemon game. Actually, there's two of those. I think they might be like a pair, like you sign up for one and get both. Or I
So
don't
roll
know.
for shoes red and
Yeah,
roll for shoes
a pair
blue.
of shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Is that really what it
I
is?
think it might be because one picture is blue and one picture is red.
Because
and
the
the
original
Pokemon
yeah.
red and blue. Yeah, you're right. I hadn't thought of that until just now. You're right.
fantastic.
There's a
Right.
Mork board game, and there's probably going to be more by the time we actually have get to the October 25th. So if you want to play any of those games, if you have games that you'd like to run of your own, you can join at happyjacks.org/Discord. For safety purposes, you have to have been part of the Discord, at least participating for a little while to run a game, but anybody can join and play in a game.
Yay.
Yay!
I was
Indie
going to say
designer of the month.
Outgunned. Such a good system.
Oh, yeah. Indie designer of the month. It is October, so we have a new indie designer of the month. Our indie designer of the month, we're a little bit biased on this one, is Cody Gonzaga. He is a mixed race, queer, and disabled designer from here in Los Angeles, often at the Happy Jacks table on Tuesday nights for
Right there.
Road to Nowhere.
Are you pointing where I'm sitting?
Yes.
Exactly,
In
right
that
where you're
seat
sitting.
on
Right
Tuesday
there.
night.
Yeah. You can find their work at justice.itch.io. That's spelled JAZTICE. Or you can find them as Justice, spelled the same way, on Blue Sky. Today's game we're going to talk about is Down the Road Through the End of the World. No one really knows how it happened. All we know is that it did. The world, as everyone knew it, had ended. Civilization collapsed and civility along with it. Niceties became gold. Violence became law. and survivors inherited the earth. Whatever is left of the world since then is all we've got to live with. And this new world, it ain't kind, not in the slightest. Some say there's a haven out there somewhere, a good place, a safe place, a place where the apocalypse didn't touch. Maybe you believe that, maybe you don't. But for one reason or another, that's where you and these other folks are all headed. Down the Road Through the End of the World is a tabletop role-playing game about a desperate journey through a post-apocalyptic world. It's a highly narrative game that uses McGay and Vincent Baker's Other Kind dice system, which is used in McGay's amazing and very fun game Siren, along with other games. And it's available at justice.itch.io for $9. Oh, that's very good. I actually ended up in a DM with McGay Baker yesterday, and I was trying very cool. I was trying very hard to be very cool, and I just like now, I'm very much succeeded at being cool, very cool. I am cool about the whole thing. It's cool.
I hate to break it to you, but you are kind of cool. So
Yeah,
I think you're cool.
It's fine. Hi, I'm Kimmy. You're hello. I make
Slushy in the
games.
veins. I believe it.
Super good. It was amazing. So anyway, obviously we're best
Val
friends
Kilmer
now.
and Top Gun, just
Yeah.
Iceman all the way through.
Super. That was me.
We need to get you a wingman
Yeah,
that
there we
just
go.
introduces you.
Yeah.
and makes you look cool.
Yeah. Like I need a goose sidekick to like make me
Yes.
seem that much
And
cooler.
then
Maybe not a goose.
Yeah.
Not with that same ending, but like the kind of gawkies
Maybe a zombie to walk around and go, "You're cool."
No. I need a comparison. I need someone who's like casting directed, like somewhat less attractive than me to make me look more cool and attractive while they walk next to me, like Goose with like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, the personality higher.
Yeah. There you go. Like the contrast. Like,
Right.
Look at me. Look at you. Look at me.
Like the Old Spice.
Yeah. I was going for Blackpink, but also very cool. Okay. Old Spice, fine.
That's what he says. Look at me. Now look at him.
Yeah.
Now look at me.
Look at me. No, look at it. Yeah, that's 100%. I'm on a horse. Okay, we should do that. Email number 1. Somebody read the
We're having a
mailbag
great
number
time.
1. We're great.
I'll read it. Because it's short. Haha.
Oh no.
Dear Happy Jacks, what narrative devices, tropes, plot points do GMs of the Hive Mind like to use to create a sense of importance amongst low-level heroes in an epic fantasy? What is your answer to? Is there someone else we can talk to? Someone else to deal with the world-ending threat, especially when characters are of lower power or influence? Had the deceased, ungulate been flogged to its second demise? All right. Demise. By ungulate, I mean this guy. Insert home video of a huge moose walking along a road. Captain Kurt on the Discord.
I think that's the Alaskan way of asking, have we beat this horse?
Oh,
horse?
that makes sense. Okay, I'm following now.
Yeah. It's just a giant fucking moose. Yeah.
I'm just distracted by moose thoughts now.
Yeah. It was an impressive video.
Moose thoughts.
Yeah.
Moose.
And like it's Kurt, so I'm like 98% sure it was literally just a video off his phone.
Oh, sure.
Like just walking along the road and Alaska.
Well, Kurt just lives in nature.
Yeah. There's no house.
No,
He
it's just nature.
He comes out of the woods every so often to go to a game convention and then like retreats back to his
He just
Like-
nods at the moose going
Yeah.
the other way, and
he sings and birds come flocking and moose.
That tracks. Yeah, I buy that. That moose tracks.
True.
I've missed you, Joey. I miss you so much. All right.
somewhere at home I have moose poop earrings.
Listen, the moment I heard that a moose will tear a truck in half, I was done. I was like, you know what? I
Yeah.
don't ever need to meet a moose in my life.
Oh, yeah,
We're
I
done.
know.
Adjacent to your
Yeah.
moose poop earrings, a friend of ours very much loves mooses. So we bought him like dice with moose poop in them. I don't know. We bought them
Alaska
online.
makes everything out of moose poop. They do. Like you can buy moose poop souvenirs all over.
Everywhere. Wow. I've never even thought of that, like at all. Like there's things
It's
you.
lacquered, so it's not like sticky.
No, yeah.
It's true.
Great.
It is lacquer.
What's weird is the moose lacquers it himself.
Yeah.
That's what happens after they eat the truck. Like
Oh,
it just
yeah.
comes out that way.
Oh my god.
It's all that
They eat the
antifreeze
truck, go
goes
lacquer
somewhere.
some moose poop.
Well, it's so cold there, they have to lacquer it themselves, otherwise they'll get stuck.
Oh, God.
Fair.
So how do you deal with low level heroes and getting them to have a sense of importance, how to get them actually to get jobs, etc.?
Well, my first thought was, well, make the small problems their big problems. Like one of my favorite comparisons, kind of off topic, but not really. When you do like a high school game, like a high school drama game, where getting a date to the prom is treated like, this big epic quest. Kind of take that in a more like civil, small town vibe of the road needs to get repaved. There's a mayoral election. There's something happening in the town that's very, very important to these people, but it's not going to change the world, but it'll change their world. Kind of take it from that aspect.
Right.
Like, what is slaying the dragon in a small town?
Yeah. And maybe it is that. Maybe, I mean, that's one of kind of the common tropes of this is like, okay, there's this problem that and a lot of times, especially if it's like the party are visitors to this area, maybe they haven't grown up there. It's like, okay, you're the only adventurers we can afford. Like, you are in our budget. So it's not necessarily that you are the ones we want. This is our price point, and you're the only one who fits that. So I feel like that's generally a nice little shortcut for that.
Like, we know we paid you to be rat catchers, but can you maybe help us with these bandits?
They're really big rats. Like, kobolds are kind of like
they're rat. Yeah,
they've
rat
got
like.
tails. They live in dark places.
Honestly, I ascribe to the kind of from the school of thought where your heroes are learning how to be heroes when they're low level tier. Like I go in with like, okay, what are you going to get out of this, and try to not just make like the small problems big problems, but maybe make the big problem more like scale down that big problem. Like, are you a low level adventurer and you have to face a dragon? Do you have to fight it? Can you reason it out? Is the dragon smart? Does the dragon have a weakness that you can exploit? And try to like present that to your players and hope that they understand that maybe like, fighting the dragon is not the point here. Conversely, because I'm the one controlling the dragon's probably not going to kill them. It'll just be like, all right, you're not worth my time. I'm out. Bye. Like, it'll just leave. You still win. But like, I think that's the big important thing when you're the GM is that you control the world and everything that's in the world. So everything and anything can be scaled up, down, squashed, stretched, or whatever to suit your players and whatever they're doing or playing at the time. And that's kind of the school of thought that I ascribe to. I'm kind of like, all right, we can work with this. Like, let me just, you hear the sound of jackhammers and duct tape in the background as I make it work.
Please mind our pixie dust.
Yeah.
Yes. Where's that gift where it does this? Magic.
Yeah. Never give your players something that isn't in their league.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Let them see stuff that's not in their league, but maybe it's far away, or they get a report of, oh, well, the county seat just got attacked by a dragon. Maybe you could go see about that, but we have this going on right here, and it's either you or old Farmer Abe that's going to take care of this goblin problem, and I got to tell you, he's not so spry anymore.
Farmer on a cane.
Yeah. Like, are you going to send that guy out to die? Like, no, have a heart. Please help.
To build on that, never underestimate the power of the subversion of the trope. Because maybe there's like this lore about this big scary dragon and everyone's like, oh no, it's going to kill us all. And the adventurers like find that it's just a fairy dragon. It's about this big and kind of annoying. And you're just like, well, that was and it becomes kind of, if your players are into it, it'll be like funny or fun or whatever. They're all prepared thinking they're going to die and it just turns out to be this prankster or something along those lines. Can also keep it interesting and keep it fun too. So
another kind of good yardstick I was thinking of is like, if you look at, I'm going to use Marvel as an example because I'm into DC as well, but the power tiers in Marvel, like you're not going to send Spider-Man against Galactus. Like he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's going to deal with friendly neighborhood problems.
Didn't they literally do that?
No, they sent him against Thanos with a whole team of other people that were also beyond his league.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah. How dare you? However, that's like another thing to look at. Like, where would you put your heroes on a level? Like, are they street level? Are they city level? Are they nation level? Cosmic? Like, where do you want them to fall? And then plan your conflicts around that that power level.
Yeah, and then they can
Right.
have a great reputation in that power level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like they
Mhm.
absolutely like if they've saved a couple small towns, they probably have an amazing reputation in small towns. Maybe like in like Winterfell or whatever, they don't actually like know who they are or whatever. But
Mhm.
like in the small villages, especially in specific regions where they've worked, like they may be literal heroes. Maybe little farm kids have like pictures or posters of them on their room. Like who knows?
Right.
One of the things I love is stuff like that, but I also love pulling from backstories. Like, oh, the mayor of this town, like I like kind of inspired by like the like popular kids in like high school. It's like, oh, you were the quarterback in high school. I thought you were amazing. So now like this lower level kid from like the past has become like mayor of this little town. Oh, I
Mhm.
heard the guy I looked up to so much in high school like is now a warrior. Oh, my town's in need. Come save us. You're my favorite. I look up to you. You're my hero. And you're like, oh, yes, I am a hero. Yes. And so there's like this kind of play of like expectation versus reality and this implied image, or maybe they've put rumors out about themselves about how great they are and people have bought it and like
Yeah.
way more than they can chew and stuff like that. So there's a lot of ways to weave in like importance, but also having that fun undercurrent of, but do you deserve this importance? You have to
Yeah.
prove yourself now.
Yeah.
Well, and also I think, Kimmy, I was thinking about something too with characters, goals. What are their goals? That's also a great way to like build in that importance. Because I was thinking about a game of Virgins and Vixens that we played at Strategicon, where we were doing the Princess Beauty contest. And we had all created these different characters that were wildly different from each other, but connected. And you, as the GM, found a way to sort of connect all the different talents that we had, because we had a witch who grew magic herbs, but like had like this one tiny plot of land that was the reason the castle didn't like wind all the way around, because this witch had like the one like piece of crap that didn't, go in there. We
Inspired
had
by the farmers that held out from Disneyland for so many
yes.
years.
It's 100%. And like they had like a role to play. And then you had me who was like the pseudo podcaster who was like announcing stuff, and kind of you found a way to like take these characters' talents and apply them into the story and give a sense of importance to it. Even though there wasn't necessarily like I was a minor podcaster, and the running joke was like the spotlight kept getting taken off of me so that I wouldn't talk. And we still like that still gave me that sense of importance, but while highlighting how unimportant I was, in quotes. It was very fun. And then we also had the other character, the witch character is a great one because she didn't seem important until she became important. And like she presented a solution, a really important solution to the problem. And the funny part was that particular character, I think that was Ampersand's character, um, was a character that had a fearsome reputation and subverted that trope.
Mhm.
So I feel like you can get really creative with creating that sense of importance. And I think like the biggest ways is it coming from within the character? Is it related to their goals and what they want to do? Or is it coming from without of the character? Is it something that they have to interact with or they have to do? Like with the world. Are they a folk hero? Do they have that kind of reputation? Do they have a fearsome reputation? People think they're like an a-hole. What do we know?
I
But
love
yeah,
that.
so
Yeah. Yeah, I love your example of your character. Like the joke was that she wasn't important, and that gave you important moments in the story. So I think that's an
Mhm.
interesting thing too. Are we talking about importance in of the characters in the world, or are we in talking about characters in the story? Because you can
Right.
have a character who's very important to a story who is overlooked and considered not important in the actual game world itself. And that can be very interesting and powerful. And that's like literally like a trope in a lot of fairy tales. Like the
Mhm.
little nobody girl ends up being like the princess who's been lost for years and is inheriting the kingdom and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, dig it.
All right. Are we done with the moose?
I don't think so. I think we had two. Did we have two more questions to answer here? Because we had, what is the answer to, is
Oh,
there
yeah.
someone else we can talk to and someone else to deal with the world, someone else to deal with the world ending threat? Or did we sort of answer those in that package?
I think it's
don't
kind of
know.
wrapped up. I think those were kind of like examples of the problem.
Okay.
I specifically
Yes.
run into this a lot with people that are for the first time playing Tales from the Loop.
Oh yeah.
Because the
okay.
number of people that are playing kids that are like, I think there's velociraptors in the school gym.
We should get.
We need to go get the authorities. Like, we need the police or like people with guns. This is a problem. And you're like, well, no, they're not going to believe you. You're a kid and you're thinking there's velociraptors in the school gym. Well, if you go tell the cops, they're not going to go check it out. They're going to be like, no, kid, go home.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have to play out that scene.
Yeah.
Like, in order for them to get the message, like, oh, no, this is a problem that we have to deal with.
Right.
That, just sometimes there isn't anybody else. Sometimes it's not about the hero you want, it's the hero you have.
Right.
Right.
It's funny you mentioned that because I've been doing a Stranger Things rewatch in preparation for the finale coming up in a couple weeks. And the entire time I'm watching, like, yeah, these parents are absolutely useless. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Like, except for Joyce. And even she's a little,
Yeah.
she's not great the first couple seasons. She's trying, though. But it made me think, because you mentioned a couple times when we played Tales from the Loop that, you have that problem with the people trying to get parents and authorities involved. Like, yeah, look at Stranger Things. Useless. Also, there's no story if you just let someone else handle it. You've got to handle it. Otherwise, what are we doing here?
Right.
Yep.
Why
Well,
are
and
we
like there's
even
always
here?
like, why are the parents not aware? Like maybe they don't see what you see. Maybe there's something that like is inherent to your characters or whatever. But the other like, and with those kinds of questions, is there someone else we can talk to? Usually, I just say like, I mean, you could, but same as like with what Kadave said, like there's usually a reason that they can't handle that responsibility. Like they could be overwhelmed. They could like be stuck where they are, unable to leave. So, sorry, I'm thinking of our Cypher System game, the one that we play here, the Pirates of Dark Water. A lot of originally Ren is supposed to be the one to find the treasures of Rule, and the reason he can't do it anymore is because he physically can't leave Octopon anymore. He's now the king. Like he has these responsibilities that he has to maintain in his kingdom, and so he needs the adventurers to do it for him. And that's kind of like when you set things up like that, you block off those questions. You're like, yeah, you can, like, these people can aid you, perhaps they can give you like some tools and things that will help you later, but they themselves cannot do this task. So sorry.
Yeah.
You're SOL, it's you're it.
And I think it's important to think of those things like ahead of time. Like Tales from the Loop, it's sort of built into the system. Like there's even a section of the book explaining like you were kids, you can't just run and go get adults to solve the problems, and it explains kind of how to handle that. But a lot of games don't necessarily go into that granular detail. So if you're creating a campaign idea around PCs that for some reason are it, like you have to be the heroes, even if it doesn't quite make like logical sense, like have those answers as a GM kind of in the back of your mind, because they will probably come up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I love that. Is there someone else we can talk to? It's like, for me, it's like the D&D Karen. Can I speak to your manager? I'm sorry. Is there another like higher level adventuring party that I could perhaps like your bosses?
I know you're the king, but you have like a super king?
Yeah.
Like
Sorry, this is like where
it's
my
like
brain was
no.
at. No, it's not.
I 100% have played in a D&D game where there was a better adventure party. Like, we were the misfits that trailed along in the wake of the actual, much like the Dudley Moore movie, the Holy Moses.
Yeah.
Back from the 80s. It basically, he plays, like, he's on a tourist tour of the Holy Land, and he falls into a ditch and hits his head, and he then lives out his whole life as Moses' younger brother, who was on the other side of the hill when the burning bush talked to Moses, and he thought it was talking to him. So every time there was a gap in the conversation, he was asking questions also. And then he's like, I have to go do this stuff. I've been chosen. The burning bush told me I have to do this stuff. And so he's always like one step behind in the whole adventure. Like the whole thing is like, he gets to Egypt and he's like, you have to set the people free. And the Pharaoh's like, they left like 2 weeks ago. I don't know why you're here. Yeah, and that's the comedy of the whole movie.
It's
But
definitely like a middle child who wrote that screenplay. Just like, God damn it.
It's nice to see that Jan Brady's getting work.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah, it was totally like that. It was like everywhere we went, everybody's like, "Oh yeah, well we don't really have any problems around here because it's fine."
Yeah,
Now
it's
after
fine.
they took out that goblin camp, then it turns out they were actually running a scam that we uncovered.
Oh.
That was they would bring problems to towns and then be like, "We can save you," and
That's amazing.
like fake
Yeah.
bandits that they would go, "Oh, we'll go get your stuff back," but only recover some of it
Oh.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's
The-
actually a pretty good play for
was
like
fun, yeah.
adventuring stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. The adventures that are like the higher level adventures are actually sabotaging you. That's fun. The other thing that I was going to point out too, and I'm going to use very famous group of people, Critical Role, as my example. They actually did meet a higher level adventuring party than them, and they did do that. They were like, "Can you handle this? Because this seems like way bigger than." Because I believe their campaign 3 party met their campaign 2 party. And at this
Oh.
point, all of the campaign 2 party were all higher level adventurers who had all had responsibilities and
Didn't one of them become like a
um,
goddess or something?
yeah, like
Okay.
I think she was like a druid, like an arch druid.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Keyleth became an arch druid, and had been one at this point. And like the campaign 3 party was like, "Hey, we suck at this. Like we really we don't know what we're doing. We're way out of our depth. Please help." And they like were trying to like relay this like potentially catastrophic problem to all of these campaign 2 or campaign not campaign 2, campaign 1 characters. They were the Vox Machina group. They did run into campaign 2, but that's later. But the point is, they were trying to like do exactly that. Like, please help us. We need adultier adults. And the campaign 1 characters looked at them and were like, "See that big pile over there? That's all the shit we have to do." I mean, I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. Like that kept being the answer. Like we'll put that in the pile. We'll put that in the list. Like they genuinely didn't physically have the time to handle it, so it fell on the adventurer's shoulders regardless. And those are the kinds of like the ways that you can handle stuff like that, you know?
I feel that's so hard. It's like, yes, I can absolutely help with that. Add it to the pile.
Mhm.
Like with absolutely no ability to say no. No, I can't do it. Like I feel like that's just the way. Like
Look, we support grassroots adventurers.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
we believe in you. You do it yourself. Like we have a can-do attitude, a growth mindset.
Oh man.
Dying.
And you're done. Okay.
All right.
well, you see, you become an adventurer, and you get 2 more people to become adventurers.
Yeah.
And then they get 2 people to become adventurers.
Yes. Multi-level marketing. Like
Oh, it's a
adventuring.
multi-
And
Multi-level-
They have to
you know
give
what?
you 8% of the hordes
Oh,
they
the
find.
hard.
Mhm.
But you refer them future. Oh my god.
And then
This is
if
an
you
interesting
get enough
campaign idea.
hordes,
There was
you get a pink
book
convertible.
I read.
Yeah.
I think it's called Orconomics. And it
That's a
literally
great
is a
title.
world in which it's like a fantasy world, but their banking system is based off of people buying shares of monster hordes. Because they don't actually know what the dragon has up at the top of the mountain, but they're like, yeah, well, I think a share of that dragon's been there a long time. They've got to have a lot of stuff. Okay, well, a share of that one's worth this, and that's their whole stock market.
It's
And
getting
that's-
Storage Wars, and I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, and it was hilarious because it's basically a weird treatise on economics through the lens of a fantasy world, and it's hilarious.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Hordage Wars. Get into it.
Yeah.
That's a different war.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I said what I said.
You said, yeah. All right, mailbag number 2. Who would like to read this one?
Ooh, I'll volunteer. I'll
Go
take
get
it. It's mine now. Hello, Kimmy and the Jackers. We're a band now. I love that for us. As we all know, in addition to this amazing advice show, the Happy Jacks Network also produces a number of actual plays on Twitch and as podcasts.
We do?
From, ooh,
Sorry.
I think so.
Yeah. we-
Yes.
I'm just
Last time I
It
checked.
is a
Yeah.
number.
From the perspectives of players and performers, how is playing a game that's primarily intended to be watched by an audience different from playing a just for fun session that's not for anyone but the people at the table? Is there a difference if you're playing on live stream versus a game that's recorded and released later? So pre-recorded streams versus live streams. Thanks for your insight and perspective on this. Mike from New York State.
Snacks. I miss snacks. Home games, I can snack while we
Yes.
game.
Mm.
And
100%.
people do not appreciate that, as we learned the hard way back in ye old times, that when you eat or snack while we game.
Yeah. Unless you're Brennan Lee Mulligan and you're sitting there with almonds.
Platters. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But,
But
seriously, no, there's other
oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I also think that because I actually have thoughts on this.
Yeah, because you're the most professional. You actually like do this professionally. Of us,
I do
like,
this.
this is why I put this here while you were here.
I mean, I do have thoughts on this, and it's just because when it comes to APs, there's so many different approaches to actual plays. You do have that vibe where it's everybody at the table, you turn the cameras on and you play a casual game. But yeah, you can't snack, and it is for entertainment. So you have to keep that in mind because the moment you lose viewers, you're kind of like, what's the point of it, right? So, or at least what's like the point of it at the end of the day is to have fun, and that's great if you're having fun. But with an actual play, the idea is that you're trying to garner an audience, right? And there are certain things performance wise that you want to do that. And how people do that is all different. Whereas a home game, it's just you and your friends. I feel like it's a bit more relaxed because you don't have to worry about getting flagged for using copyrighted music. You don't have to worry about cursing, and having to use we only get one F-bomb because tonight's show is supposed to be family friendly and it's a PG-13 show. Like, we can use all the F-bombs we want. And I think the other thing that I've noticed as well with home games versus APs is that it feels more okay to make mistakes in a home game. Whereas in AP, you're like, well, my audience hates me and I'm getting canceled now. Yay. So you have to be hyper aware of like what you say and how you say it in more than one way. But yeah, so those are my thoughts
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the floor from everyone else for
No,
like an
it's good.
extended period.
I think it's
So-
important to delineate between a couple different things. Like, you do a lot of like professional, like hired by and like hired by the
Mhm.
company making games. So they have very set expectations. Like they do like tell you it's going to be family friendly, it's not going to be family friendly, things like
Mhm.
that. So I feel like, and the reason I wanted to hear for that email is because you're aware of a lot of things like that we don't generally tend to worry about. Like the number of F-bombs in a show. I've never
Yeah.
worried about that. Never. In fact, I'm usually the worst one about it. But it sort of depends too. There's such a wide range, like you were saying. There's people who literally just turn on cameras and play, which is kind of our style.
Mhm.
There's people who, on the opposite side, and some of our very good friends, that like very carefully edit and add sound design and music
Mhm.
and things like that. So it's more of a theatrical, almost like audio play experience. And then there's like literally everything in between. And all of those different, like in that gradient, or it's probably even more than that, it's probably like a whole spectrum of actual plays. There's also like different rules and vibes for all of those things. Like I've had friends on actual plays where they're like, okay, we can't, like they had like they had special dice trays they'd gotten because they didn't want the sound of the dice on the
What?
actual play. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I've never worried about that. Like, I feel like that's a plus. Like, I love the sound of dice because it
Mhm.
makes me feel like, oh, they're like actually playing. But
Mhm.
that's a preference too. 'Cause some people hate like when they're listening in their headphones, just hearing the dice sound. Like, I know you're rolling dice. You talked about it. Like, I don't need the. To me, it's like fully magic, but like not fully real. That's an industry joke for everyone out there.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't know.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, like, and I agree with you too, like and I do feel like there is still a level of like how you present the show because you never when you're doing a stream. So Happy Jacks has its like, its layout and its branding. Like the Pocket Dragon Pub, which is the other channel I run, has its layout and its branding. You present it a certain way, whereas a home game, you're not really worried about that. You're more focused on the game. I think because you have more time, like you don't have to worry about having everything set up, having all the openers, having all the like who's who, you just have to show up and write your notes on the game as a game master. And now I'm making clacky noises because you made me think about my dice and they were out. But yeah, so you have to think. I feel like you have to think about a few of those things when you're doing APs versus home games as well. Um,
I will say as a player and as an actor, there's when you're doing a stream game or a recorded earlier to be posted later, there is a sense of being on and being like you have to be clicked in, you have to be fully focused, you have to be you're working like you are working every muscle, and you don't have to do that in a home game. You can sometimes, but a lot of times, especially if it's like a D&D game where that scene doesn't involve me, I'm gonna mentally check out for a couple minutes. I'm not involved in this. My character doesn't need to know what's going on over there. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna make a quick phone call. And that's great. And it's also a lot easier. Side tangent. It's a lot easier to take a break from a game when it's a home game. When like you wake up that morning, like I really want to play, but I'm not feeling it. I'm kind of in a bad headspace. My bad brain day. Like I'm just not the vibe's not there. I'm gonna call out of the game. Versus if you're doing a stream game, you've made that commitment. It's kind of like a job where you have to go. People are depending on you to be there to do this thing. So it is a little bit harder you've got to push yourself a bit more than say it was a home game.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think it also depends, like, home games are so vastly different from each other, too. Like, going and hanging out in someone's living room or backyard with people in, like, actual real life space is very different than if you're on an online game. Because I feel like there's a casualness almost, like, if you're at someone's house, where
Yeah.
I feel like if you're on an online home game, like a public game, there's also that pressure to kind of be there to make sure you're fitting everything in. You want to not talk over each other. There's like a whole nother set of etiquette for online home games that you don't have for in-person home games, which are one step closer to actual play, but not quite actual play standards. It's just like so interesting, like how just playing RPGs has evolved since so much of it has become something that is available online and partially online.
yes.
I-
And I agree, like the talking over thing is something that's really common, even in home games. It's really easy to talk over people, especially if you're experiencing lag. Not to mention, I think the other thing that um, in person versus reality, like the reason that I actually enjoy in person games, I do mostly virtual, but that's because all of my friends are scattered throughout the contiguous US.
We
So
love
what am
you.
I
You
supposed to
moved
do here, right?
away.
Like I know. One day I'll be back and I'll be able to game at more tables in person. But like the one thing I love about in-person gaming is that you can watch for people's reactions in real time. Like when we did sat when we when we played Savage Worlds at Happy Jacks, that was one of the things I loved because I would always look to, I think Artem was on my left and Darby was on my right, the
Yeah.
two most reactive people on the face of the planet. Whenever any kind of plot point would happen, I would look at either of them and like I would be like, oh God, and kind of like know what would get a better sense of what's going on and kind of narrow down my reaction just because I was sitting at the table with them. And same like at a home game, like you're looking at people's faces to kind of get a sense of like what their thoughts are on what's happening, or at least what their characters' thoughts are if you're like all in character and you haven't gone above table. Um, and you lose the other thing too, virtually versus in person, the X card has to be different
Mhm.
in those settings because normally your X card is in the middle of your table and you're supposed to be able to tap it. But in a virtual game, you have to find other ways to do it. You have to do like some kind of a verbal X card, or I know some VTTs, if you're using like a virtual tabletop sim, will have like a card system built in, like just baked into the program, so you can use that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
And
stuff
actual
like that.
plays, even like again another step beyond that, figuring out how safety tools are going to work on an actual play, because some people
Yeah.
feel like sure enough that they can like use a safety tool during a game, and then there's some people who don't want to use safety tools during the game. Even if you tell them you can, they feel like too exposed doing that. So you have to really be careful and set those norms ahead of time, so that everyone feels comfortable and able to do a safety tool. Like here at Happy Jacks, we used to kind of just do it a different way, but now I have like the whole little light system that's off camera. So then, like,
Yes.
each game kind of talks about it ahead of time. Like, okay, are we going to, like, talk about it? Are we not going to talk about it? If it happens, do we just keep moving and not say it? We want to set an example and, like, talk about it? Like not talk about, like, why did you hit the X card? But, like, oh, the X card's been hit. Like, mention it so the people watching would know, even if they can't see, like, the X card itself. So
Right.
it's very interesting. And here at Happy Jacks, that varies from game to game. So it's not
Yes.
even just like that's an actual play thing or not actual play thing. It's a actual play thing in a specific style. Different games in that style, like even have like variations on it.
Yes. Well, and if you're fully virtual, because a lot of the games at the Pocket Dragon Pub are fully virtual, we had to come up with like, do we want to use this as a VTT? Like, and we like came up with a pretty extensive list of safety tools from pre to post game, just because I take safety really seriously, and I don't want anyone to come sit down at the table and feel uncomfortable.
That's why we're
Um,
friends.
yeah.
Also, you're cool.
Yay. Thanks, you too. Yeah, so one of the things that we did actually comes from Logomancy Media because he's also super into safety and we had a whole conversation about this. And I felt so dumb because I didn't think about this. We use improv tools
Yeah.
because there's two lines that we use. We use moving right along as to act as a fast forward, like we're heading into uncomfy territory. And scene is our verbal X card, which works for me because I'm very auditory anyway. So when it comes to virtual play or actual plays, and so if someone says and scene to me, that's automatic, like, oh, whatever. And I tell people this flat out, like, we're not, that scene's over. That scene just ended. We're moving on with our lives. We're moving on to the next thing. But there's two, and I know there's two schools of thought with the X card when you use it. Some people want to, like, will seek to eliminate that thing from the scene and will ask for clarification. Um, and then there's a second school of thought, which is the one I ascribe to, which is, I don't want to make this worse for you. So let's just move along,
Yeah.
you know, because you don't know like how a person can be activated if it's really bad or if it's not really bad, and you don't want to make it worse. And that puts the onus on the person to let you know like what they need. But that's kind of the way you adapt it. Like going back to the point is you adapt it for a virtual setting. You know, and I also like the lines and veil sheet that Happy Jacks provides is really awesome because it does something that I don't see in other safety tools, and that's it tells you things that are intrinsic to the game, so you know what you're signing up for, like what the buy-in is. So if
That
you
was
don't
actually
like
good.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was
No,
gonna say
didn't
that
mean to
was
go.
actually not originally on there. That was a suggestion from our amazing Discord. Is a
Yay,
group of
Discord.
people were like, sometimes it's hard because there's like, and I think they use the example when we were chatting about it of like blood in vampire. Playing vampire, and someone marks blood, you're like, well, it's literally on the character sheet. I don't know what to do. So yeah, that was like they're amazing suggestions, and we've added things and changed it over the years to make it better, based on feedback, and it's I'm super proud of that. That's one of the things I'm really proud of. So.
Oh, wait, and it's such a big thing to know. Like, I think a big part of safety is knowing what the buy-in is. Like, what am I getting myself into? Home game or AP, you know, so you're not surprised when you sit down at the table and you're like, this is a vampire game. There's lots of blood in it. Oh no, you know?
Shocking. Dave, I'm
gasp.
sorry. You wanted
No,
to do
no,
things like 4 different times.
No, two things. First, I love safety tools, especially in the AP environment, because I'm often playing with people that I haven't known for 20 years. And I'm like, oh, there's new people here. I don't know what their deal is. I don't want to be an asshole to anybody. I'm just here to have fun. Let's go.
You just accidentally are.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
yeah. But
We love you. We're just-
the problem that I run into is specifically X card related for me. The X card personally in my heart is like I am pushing the big red button to start a thermonuclear war. Like the only time anybody will ever see me X something is if it is beyond the pale. Like if I am literally about to pass out with horror about whatever's just happened, then I would push the X card.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people aren't like that. So when it comes up, I'm always like, like I'm terrified for a moment, like a deer in the headlights, and then I'm like, wait, are they like me? No, okay. Okay, cool, we can move on. That's fine. It's good. I don't need to call for medical assistance. Like
God.
that kind of
Yeah.
Right.
But the other thing about home games that I absolutely adore is I am a goofy dude,
Yeah.
right? And playing in a home game, my brain never stops coming up with silly shit related to what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
And in actual plays, now that I've been doing this for a decade, I'm like, I can keep that
Yeah.
locked away in a little part of my brain, so only my own brain hears it. The amount of stuff that stays locked in there
Okay.
is so much more
Right.
than it is.
Every once in a while, though, like, especially when we're playing, like, Dave will get a look on his face, and he'll look at me, and I'll look at him, and I'll just know.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like, and we'll just both start laughing or giggling. And everyone else at the table's just like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just a fraction of what's really happening in the Dave brain.
The way I
That's
get
right.
around that
Yes.
is, especially on a Happyjacks game that I'm producing.
Yeah.
So bonus if I'm producing, or detriment if you don't want to watch while I'm producing, I will put those thoughts into chat.
Me
too!
Yes,
I will absolutely
same,
put those
same.
thoughts into chat, and I will let you all enjoy it, and because I don't want to interrupt the flow of the game. And I'm like, eventually the other players will see it, and they will look at me and laugh or roll their eyes or scowl, and I will live for that.
Yeah.
But I need to get this out right now, or I will actually die.
Yeah, that is the privilege. If you learn how to run the production system, you get the power of snarky and like awesome, funny chat moments. And all you people who
Yes.
didn't bother to learn, even though I asked you multiple times, I'm not going to name names. You don't
Bombastic
get to be funny in
side eye is
chat.
being given right now.
Yeah. It's okay. Everybody in this room and not in this room here virtually has all produced games, so I'm allowed to be happy with all of you, and you're great.
Yeah.
We can look down our sarcastic
Yes,
noses.
like down our little noses and haha.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was gonna say like because I am that person where I will get something in my head and like immediately have to say like what that meme is. Like we were talking about something earlier and I was like, where's the glitter meme? You know, like my brain makes associations. That's how my brain functions.
Yeah.
And I catch myself doing this, especially in like some of in APs. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm thinking of this thing, and then I have to bring myself back because
Yeah.
you like as fun as it is, it's easier to do that in a home game because you're not under pressure to keep the story moving.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, home games, you're not necessarily beholden to your time limit the way that you are in an AP.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because in AP, you're usually looking at 3.3 hours to 3.5 on average, unless you want to do a 6-hour game like some crazy show I know. Not gonna name names. Holy crap, that's a long time. I could never, but props. But yeah, but at the same time, you're working with like a firmer time limit, just in general. Like whereas the home game, I feel like you have a little more flexibility. You know, you could run 4.5 if you need to, because you've set this day aside for this specifically, right? You know, so but yeah. And on the subject of live stream versus pre-recorded, I think both have their merits. I love live stream for that live element. You get stuff that you wouldn't normally see on a pre-recorded stream, because with a pre-recorded stream, it's pre-recorded, it's manicured, all the ums, uhs, and all that good stuff has been taken out. It's very cultivated and optimized is the word I'm looking for viewing. You know, it's essentially in a way, it's almost like a neo television show
Mhm.
in that way. You know what I mean? Whereas with the live stream, you get those some of the sillier moments, like where the team, like the group will all laugh together, and you get to laugh along with them because this is happening in real time as well. So there are certain merits to both. I know a lot of people swear by one or the other. Some people really like pre-recorded because, and I've seen this happen where a pre-recorded, because you're not being watched by a million people, like there's a lot of that pressure is gone, so you get more genuine play sometimes depending on the table. Whereas with a live stream, you have that subtle anxiety of we are being watched. Oh God, don't let me mess this up. Like that's like the subtext running in the back of your brain. Um, and I feel like it's almost like the difference between stage and film,
Yeah.
Mhm.
in that sense. But yeah, so
Yeah, that's very
those are my
true.
thoughts on that.
Mhm.
I feel like that's why we ended up doing one at the time. It was what everybody did is the streaming when we started. But I think like the Happy Jacks roots of like Ren Fair live performance is what really like made us more comfortable with that to start. Like I was chatting with like Jason today because he's been talking about bringing back the actual plays at the conventions,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, hey, and he was like, well, what if we have audience participation? I'm like, okay, so this is how you do a live show with audience participation. You plan for nobody showing up, and how do you do the show when nobody shows up? You plan for the audience showing up and nobody wanting to participate, and then you plan for the participation at the perfect level, and then you plan for the over rambunctious, really annoying, gotta control them audience. Like it just like all came flowing back, like like the vaudevillian type performance we
Mhm.
do at fair.
Yep, because you've done it professionally. Like, you know exactly what to
Yeah.
expect in a live show. you
Yeah,
know?
it's so funny. Like, and that's so much of that is like what it is, which is very, I don't know, to me, also because I'm way too lazy to actually have something recorded and then like process it and send it out later. Like, that would never happen. Like, if people don't see it right now, no one's ever going to see it.
Yep.
And even then, I make Dave and Jason do a big part of it so that people can actually see it because I'm not going to do it. Too much stuff happening. So it's literally just like the most expedited process of getting our games from here to there. But there's also something about it that I like. It at first it was just kind of what it was, but I really like the idea that our actual plays feel like real people.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like to me, and it's like me and my friends gaming, but in a world that has so many actual plays now. Like when we started, like there weren't very many. There was like
Yep.
like 4 or 5 groups that were doing actual plays total anywhere on the internet.
Mhm.
Nobody was streaming. It was just like recorded actual play in people's like living rooms and stuff and released as podcasts. I think RPPR might be the only one who's still around from that era.
Mhm.
But it's become something that is so polished and so professional, and people have auditions and $1 million studios and all of this, and which is great. It's amazing. Like, it's given, especially as a designer, I appreciate that on a whole level because it's brought so much new interest to the industry, and people are trying new games and there's an audience for all these new games because of a lot of that. But there's part of me that also, there was an era there, and it's gotten better again, where people were afraid, and we used to get a ton of emails about this. They would watch like Matt Mercer,
Yeah.
and they would be afraid to ever GM because they thought that's what all D&D games were like. So there's part of me that, yeah, I know RPPR is still around. I was actually chatting with Ross Payton today, but he's gonna be on the show soon.
Yay!
But they were, I think they're the only ones who were active back then that are still like, all the other ones I think have pod faded is what I was saying. Not that I wasn't sure if they were still around, but I think it's really important that people sometimes tune in, and while it might be like, oh, look, we've got cheap LED lights that I get for $14 next to the, the Home Depot made panels behind us in my garage. Like, it looks a little fancier than most people's sets. Like, that it's like real people. Like, we like to perform. We do that, but we're all people who have like day jobs and stuff like that.
And I'm firmly in the camp of I don't like to listen to the overproduced stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, as soon
Yeah.
as you take it away from real people having a real conversation or playing a real game, I'm not into it anymore.
Mhm.
Like, I'm just not. Like, there are some great, awesome game-based radio dramas out there in podcast form, and they're awesome. And I appreciate the production aesthetic and all that about them. It's not my jam.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather listen to a bunch of gamers sitting around playing games and having fun, and occasionally having the weird little side conversations or comments, or bemoaning their bad dice rolls rather than just things going wrong in a story. It's like, I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I talked to you, Kimmy, when you did a little bit of even the most minor.
That's so annoyed at me.
I did. Like, the most minor of, like, cleaning up the gaps and stuff, edit pass.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I will only watch it through YouTube
Yeah.
because I cannot take the podcast with that stuff in it.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, it was like it was pretty resounding. Like, because there was like a small period of like 3 months where I actually edited the advice show. Had it edited actually because I didn't have time for that. But and it was like the person was professional. They did a really good job. It sounded great. But literally, like, people were like, it doesn't sound like you all anymore. It doesn't sound like the people I know that I've listened to for 15 years or whatever like that. It's too clean. It's too polished. The bad jokes are there. When you mispronounce things or do bad accent, like, it's just like, it felt too sanitized.
Yeah.
And that was a very important learning moment for me after I'd taken over kind of the podcast, because I very much was in the frame of mind like, we will ascend, we will become professional, and it's like, oh, nobody wants that. Or nobody in
we
our
like it
audience
as it
wants
is.
that. Okay, cool. And it was actually a great kind of realization that, like, settling into who we are and were and have been and will be was enough. Like, I felt like lacking, and it was nice to have it reaffirm that no, what we're doing is great, and it may not be for everybody, but it's for enough people.
Yeah. And I mean, it's again, it's so many, there's so many, it's funny because I actually did a TikTok about this where this is still a form of entertainment in the AP sense, but like there's so, like, it varies. Whatever floats your boat is out there now because we are there's so many APs out there that you can imagine. I was going to say, like, I actually hit this really nice kind of hybrid with between, like, because I have shows that need to be that are polished and edited, and that
Yeah.
I'm in the editing phase now because I feel like they need that extra little, like, zhuzh, for lack of a better word. But then we also have our live streams where we're goofy and fun, and like last night we did we did a test play for a game called Streets of Jade by James Mendez Hodes,
Yeah.
who, the game is fantastic, 10/10, totally recommend. But we had to learn the game together because not a single person in that room had ever played with the Paragon system before, which is which forms the core mechanics of the game. So we're all like reading rules together, doing exactly what, like, he wanted from the playtest, and trying to, like, and finding those things
Yeah.
that a playtest is for, but in real time. And that's valid. Some people love that stuff,
Absolutely.
you know?
It's funny
Um,
because of our streams for our actual plays, the first session, we used to not do session 0 character creation. We used to just start with session 1, and then we did it for one system. I don't remember what it was. It might have been demigods. I feel like Jason might have wanted people to know how to make characters. I don't know. It was around that era where we decided, okay, we'll do a session 0. And those are 100% always our most popular episodes, is because people are looking for guidance on how to go through and create characters and how to launch their games. So I get messages all the time and comments and stuff on YouTube of like, hey, I don't actually watch actual plays, but I go to your channel a lot to find your session 0 of systems that I'm playing so that I could, like, have a walkthrough and a demonstration of, like, how a real table, like, and like how you go through character creation with these games. So it's very interesting to see people have different wants and needs, and sometimes they can find it in the same shows and sometimes they can't. But there's definitely a desire for actual plays that have all those mechanics in them and have people talking about the rules and going over rules in a very granular way.
Yep.
Shocking no one, I like homework. So a lot of times, I know, when I get, put on a show here, or I'm playing a new home game, I try to find an actual play, even if it's just a one shot of the system if I've never played it before, just so I can get familiar with it. It's so vital to my process to understand how the game works, how do I build a character I want to play in the system? Is that possible? What does that look like? What's the vibe? And yeah, so those session 0s are absolutely invaluable.
Yeah.
To me as a player. I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like 50-50 on them. When I was running our One Ring campaign, I went and watched like a ton of actual plays about it. And it was like, at the same time, it was informative. I found like articles online much easier for me to follow. I think it was just my ADHD, like having like the step 1, step 2. And I also got really annoyed because a lot of actual plays that I watched didn't capture the actual vibe of like Lord of the Rings, Tolkien stuff. And I get like, okay, yes, there's Hobbit hijinks that needs to happen in every good Middle Earth story. But sometimes I would be like 2 hours in and like, nobody's like somewhat thoughtful or melancholy yet. What has happened? No.
That's
Yeah.
the danger of being an expert at something.
I know.
Yeah.
Is always the like.
I'm the sommelier of Tolkien,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose. Yes.
One Ring does need a roll for wistful.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Oh.
I will say too, the buy-in in there is important because if you really want like a Lord of the Rings themed game, like with pirates, I was like, here is all the source material. Plop. Like, good luck. And I mean, I got a table that did enjoy doing the homework, and at least most of them have at least watched the show, one or two episodes of the show. But if you have a table that is willing to do that, it helps give that element of genuineness to the play as well.
Yeah.
And I think that applies to both. Like if you want to do homework at home, like for your home tables, do it. Like who cares?
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
go all in. Why not?
Absolutely. I think
Have
that's
a
a good
blast.
tie-in for using the X card too, because
Oh, yeah.
I actually set up, okay, the X card, I'm going to use the X card when we start getting too off tone. And I would never have done that in a home game. I would have let the hijinks roll and then been like, okay, are we done? Okay, children, let's come back this way. Faces forward, feet following, this way, friends. Like,
We do render that a little bit with our home game One Ring.
Yeah.
Which is great.
right.
But like again, because we're all big Tolkien fans, and we're really easy to stay on task, but every once in a while we get, a little goofy.
Yeah.
And we have our immediately go-to whenever our GM mentions Arnor. Also, Arnor! Arnor!
But yeah, I mean, then so like using the, I would never have worried about that or bringing people back that quickly with the X card if it wasn't a stream, like an actual play game. So that's a good kind of like example of using the X card for like non-emergency break
total
purposes.
emergency. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And also how like you kind of change a little bit of tone and timing on stuff for actual plays.
Oh, speaking of breaks, that's another big differentiator is you can get up and leave the table whenever you want and come back. Not all APs have that expectation. Happy Jacks is different. You actually can get up and use the bathroom and come back. But like some other APs are like, we have a scheduled break and that's it.
Yeah.
Good luck. hold it until then.
Figure it out. Yeah.
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 Like,
The thing I do when most of the actual plays that I run, I tend to start with some of the materials from the publisher
Yeah.
as like the first little arc of the AP, because I've had so many people that are like, it's very nice to be like, I know what your GM notes are. Like, I see how you react to players making weird, wild swings and choices, all the way back to that Rips game where, like,
Oh yeah.
the first episode, Bill shoots one of the major NPCs in the face and rolls Savage World, so the dice exploded 100 times, and that guy just got wrecked. Okay, well, now this is an entirely different adventure.
Yeah.
Let's go. And the number of people that were like, it was nice seeing how you managed to navigate around that bit of the rapids,
Yeah.
and I like doing that, in an actual play. Like, I like the idea that maybe somebody that's not familiar is watching to help them get comfortable with the game.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be the first guy to admit, I screw up rules and stuff all the time because that's me. Like, I want to tell a fun story, and maybe that's not my brain is not going to hold every single rule in a rule book in my head. But the fact that people can see that you can make a good story and have a good time, even if you're not the lord of the rules. The number of
sounds like
times
the
I've-
Lord of the Dance.
yeah, for sure. The number of times I've played with people that are like, well, I can't tell you what page the obscure rule about grappling on a slippery floor is. Like, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah. I don't. It's fine.
Just
cool.
figure it out.
It's cool.
Just
Yeah.
go.
We're
yeah.
telling a story. Like if a ruling really needs to be really matters, like to that one actually person in the audience, you can look it up and be like, this is what the book says. We didn't do that because I'm the game master and I do what I want.
Yeah. Guess what? There's a bazillion other actual plays you can go watch right now. Have fun.
And 100%. I love when people write in on message me on Discord or whatever and tell me, Dave, you screwed this up. You could probably do it better. That's how I can grow as a person, and as a person running these games or playing these games. Like, please come talk to me.
Yeah. Some of our greatest friends, Erica.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
Like people who came in and were like, hey, this, like some of the great people have joined because like giving us feedback. It's fantastic.
This is not an invitation to send death threats if I make character choices you don't like.
Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
But
I was gonna
like,
say, oh yeah,
that's too far. Just tone it back a little bit. Tell me like, hey, I think you screwed up a rule or whatever like that. But character choices, those are mine.
Yeah.
yeah.
You can go to hell.
Narrative choices go away. But I was
Yeah.
going to say, conversely to that, it's also a great way to know that you've actually learned the rules. Because I have a lot of confidence issues when it comes to learning the mechanics of games, mostly because I have anxiety. I'm like, I can't hold all these rules in my head. I'm not going to remember. I'm going to screw it up. And that's like when I'm able to like recite a rule, because you'll find like when my players are learning something and I have to recite a rule, I'm like, did I get that right? I think I got that right, and then it is right, and I was like, look at me, I learned a thing, you know. And it kind of becomes like my sparkle moment, if you've heard of like sparkles and stars and wishes.
Yeah.
So it works both ways, you know. If you screw up a rule, someone can tell you, but also it's a great way to know that you know a rule as well,
Yeah, for sure.
you know.
All right. Thank you, Mike from New York State.
Indeed.
And mailbag 3.
All right.
Do it. Notice I didn't ask. I just said.
Yeah, I know. I was ready.
I know.
I accept my fate.
You can get a 3.
I did read ahead a little bit,
Oh.
so this will help.
Okay, good.
Greetings from the land of ice and snow.
Oh no.
I'm one of you many Swedish listeners, and I'm wondering if you have options or experiences of play-by-post role-playing games.
Maybe not for the whole thing.
All right, it is specifically requested.
I understand, but like
I did my part.
you did great.
Now
You
I
did
will
great.
communicate in a way that
You
people can
did
help.
a part. You
Yep.
sure did.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Nobody hired me to pretend to be Swedish.
You know whose fault this is. Looking at you, uncommon man.
I know Stu used to play diplomacy, but now with the Discord machines and the Slack machines, play-by-post games can be played in a different and faster way. I totally agree. On the Happy Jacks Discord, we have tried and sometimes successfully played WARG! Tales from the Loop, Mutant GenLab Alpha, Understraya, Dungeon World with the Drow Down Under. Okay. I
I mean, they're
that.
Australian.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, all right.
No.
Whew. The mutant game is on hold due to a player loss, but maybe this letter can get more players. Thumbs up. The Understride game is just starting now and could probably use more players. Uncommon Man from the Discord.
Oh, this is from the Archive 2019, by the way, so don't go looking for that game right now.
Yeah, you're right. But check and see. There may be other things going on.
no.
I'm not sure.
Game days. October
And
21st.
absolutely game days, but there might be some play-by-post stuff too.
Yeah.
I haven't been checking.
If you're interested in doing that, like contact the mods, start a ticket with the mods, and we can absolutely like figure out something.
Yeah. PS2, there's a Happy Jacks team in the mobile game Hill Climb 2.
What?
One more social media platform invaded by the Happy Jacks army. I don't know what Hill Climb 2 is, but I'm going to look it up when I get home. Maybe it's still going. I don't know.
I feel like I would.
Right up there with, what was it? Mammoth?
Mammoth. Mastodon.
Mastodon.
It's still there.
Mastodon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is
It's
a
still an
game,
ancient
so it might
creature.
still
You
be a
got it.
thing.
You're like in that
Yeah.
ballpark.
But it says one more social media platform, so I assumed it was a social media platform.
Yeah, but it says mobile game.
Oh, I see.
Maybe it says both. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe we're both right.
Maybe in Sweden they can coexist.
Right. Make a game out of social media.
Perhaps. Yes, gamified social media. That sounds weirdly
Terrifying.
dangerous somehow. Yeah.
I mean, we found a lot of dangers in social media since 20.
Yeah, that sounds like the Hunger Games you bought on Temu.
Yes.
Oh no.
PPS, I made you say PP. PPPS, please start using a clock face to explain map layout in your games. It's much easier to understand the layout for us audio-only jackers. I like that. Okay.
We did read this earlier in 2019.
Well, okay, but I'm not at every episode, and
I also don't remember.
PPPS, I humbly request this letter to be read in a bad Swedish accent.
Bad. Check.
Handled. See?
Yay. Look at that.
Uh,
Done. Oh,
they
jeez.
they sent candy to us that's shaped like monkey poop back in the day.
And
Very fun.
tasted like salted monkey.
It did. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very. Yeah, I remember
Okay.
that. Yeah, Mastodon. Am I Mastodon? I think MeWe. I don't know.
MeWe may have gone the way of the dodo.
I don't know if MeWe still exists.
There
I
was
refused
Hive
to join
also
it.
for a little while.
Oh yeah, Hive existed
I
for a
did
bit.
join Hive for a little bit, and there were like
Mhm.
some, and then it came out there were some pretty serious like security concerns with it. Like
Probably.
it was not well made, and anyone could get your data. Oh, delete. No, thank you. So, yeah. Yeah. So, play by post. I have done play by post. Less now. Actually, I used to do it a ton before I did Happy Jack stuff. Especially in like role playing forums, and we had. I don't even know if we knew at the time that it was play by post. We didn't use like a specific system. It was like there were like ways you'd roll a die, or like there were just a whole bunch of things depending on like what when you posted like the odd or even number at the end of your post, whether it was like the seconds that were shown, like that
Oh.
determines some stuff in some of the role playing forums. So you'd sit there and be like, I want this to work. Wait, oh damn it, like those.
Curse my latency.
Yeah, like seriously, because you'd be like wanting an odd number and you'd get an even number, whatever it was. So I really loved that. I love the ability to think about what other people have done and have that time. But I also do really love in Discord, even if you're playing like not play by post games, I love that you can create specific channels for specific characters. So unlike play by post of old on the forums and stuff like that, where you like would do a thing and then you'd wait to be polite. Like you wouldn't want to just like spam like all the things your character was doing because that was kind of like rude and not cool. When you have a
Right.
channel just for your character and the things your character is doing with just you and the GM in there, you can continually be doing stuff as your character. I mean, within the rules, but like you can be typing up like in character thoughts or things like that constantly in a way that isn't bothering the other players. And I love the freedom of that.
Yeah, I haven't tried it with Discord. I tried it back in a Facebook group, like not a Facebook Messenger group, like an actual Facebook like
Yeah.
group itself, and it worked for a while. And I think we were doing D&D of all things through that. Like it was bizarre, because how do you roll? I don't remember how we rolled, but the issue there became who had the most free time, and like we would get presented with a puzzle, and like, oh cool, it's a puzzle. Oh, it was posted half an hour ago. Someone already solved it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess my character that's really good at doing puzzles will just sit here and wait for the next thing to happen.
That sucks.
So it's. I don't love play by post. I'd be willing to try it again, but I just be the performer in me. But I need that energy, that back and forth, to play off of, and having too much stagnation between posts would drive me nuts.
That makes sense.
I agree. I think with play by post, like you want that energy. Although I do, so I still do play by post, but it's for very specific situations, and with very specific people. Because and it's typically related to like, hey, we want to continue with these characters, but we don't want to dominate like the group's RPG with this with this story, so we're gonna move it over here. And we still do it within the purview of the rules, so it can remain canon to the story. It doesn't become some kind of elaborate fan fiction or anything like that. But at the same time, it's not the same. You're just writing together. You're not necessarily at the table interacting. And I like that interaction, like seeing the other person's face, watching the other person react to what you're telling them. I love that. That gives me energy and drive to move the story forward, I think. So.
Play by post is the most I've ever actually gotten to play Vampire, which makes me sad.
No.
But my problem with play by post is the same problem I have with LARP. In that I need someone to build a fence around the ranch. Right? You can let me out in a real big sandbox and I'll be happy. I can find my way and I know how the rules are going to interact with everything and it's cool. But if you just are like, here's your character, here's some stuff, here's some things happening in the world, go forth. Well, then I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be a good time for me. Like I need a little more structure built around what's going on, or at least someone that I can immediately turn to get adjudication. Right,
Yeah.
like somebody
Right.
that's sitting there ready to do that role. And a lot of the play-by-post stuff that I was involved in over time was more like free-form fanfic,
Mm-hmm.
I guess,
Mhm.
where like people just would come up with stuff and say things happened. Like specifically in the one vampire game I'm thinking of, there was a guy playing a Malkavian who was brilliant and was just spouting off things that they knew. Like they actually knew that they had never consulted with the GM. They were
Right.
just coming up with stuff and thought it was fun and led the whole game off into the hinterlands to figure out what's going on over there.
Yeah.
That was not part of a story, was not anything. And all of us were like, well, you know, they have the sight. They can see things. We know that about their character.
Oh my god.
Maybe that's something we should go take care of. That's a thing. No, it wasn't a
no.
thing.
No.
This
Oh, you got
reminds me.
Malkavian.
Gosh.
Yeah,
This reminds
I
me
mean-
of like Oh, go ahead. Please
No.
continue. Right. I was just gonna say it reminds me there used to be like a really elaborate RPG forum that like specialized in play by post called vaxia.org. And the way it was built out was you would join, you'd make your account, and you could actually role play. Like they had somehow managed to program a dice system. So you could actually roll dice and have those dice like that dice roll in your post and then build an outcome off of it. But they kind of created the way it was created so you could do like those kinds of play by post things with another person, like with one other person, and be able to do the results on your own, like decide what the results were on your own, or you could all get together in one forum in real time and like run a game. It was one of the first ways I was introduced to the concept of virtual like TTRPG gaming because this was years ago and I don't know if the site's still around, but it's always interesting to see that because you also have like, and then if you go even further back, you have the Yahoo TTRPG forums where everyone and their mom was some variation of Rand Althor because the only thing anybody ever read was Wheel of Time. And I'm
Oh
like,
my god.
can we just not be the Mary Sue to end all Mary Sues for the
Oh my
love of
god,
God?
Rand.
Yeah. Um,
Oh.
but yeah. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it very much depends on the norms that are set up. You have to set up those norms. I think it's also important for the GM or whoever's kind of running it to kind of direct things. Joey's example of the puzzle, like having it like, oh, the old man presents a magic puzzle and then looks at Joey, who has a better name than Joey as a character. And not that Joey's a bad name, but
How dare you?
for a character in a fantasy world, I'm not sure it's like in the vibe.
Yeah.
But and so like having it direct so that the GM is still using the same technique you use to spotlight at a regular at the table game, but so making sure that everyone's getting those moments. And I think things like Discord now where you have the private channels, or I've seen also people have channels between two specific characters. So, like, for example, in our Road to Nowhere game, Kai and Cody's character have this whole other kind of, like, past and a lot of, like, interactions that happen between them. Instead of having Kay looks longingly towards Ronnie, like, and then, like, waiting a week until, like, as everyone else makes posts, and then it's like they have their own separate little channel where they can role play that out as they're available, and then they can also like share out like stuff or like it kind of depends. I've seen it where the channels are private, but I've also seen it where everyone can read it and they see new things so they can go in and follow along with the story too, which is kind of cool. It's like having like segmented out like games happening and like it's a very interesting way of playing. I'm not sure it's it's not more efficient than just like getting on Zoom necessarily. But if you have people all playing a game who are in very different time zones, who are in very different schedules, things like that, it is a cool, interesting way to play that has more options than the old forum days. But still keeps everything contained in one thing, especially if you're creating a specific server for play by post.
I will say, like, in that context, like in the terms of like Discord channels and stuff, when it's done right, it can add a lot of an additional layer of depth to the characters because they have all this subtext that now exists between them, which informs their decisions in like the game. If you're doing this in addition to a game. But I've also been in situations where that did more harm than good, especially with channels that were secret, so people didn't know what was going on. A bunch of stuff would happen between players, and then all of that would be brought to the game and then blindside everyone else,
Yeah.
which isn't necessarily fair to the rest of the table. So I do think that it is valid, but it should be done with care and mindfulness for the rest of the table as well.
Yeah.
In that context, you know.
I think there's a separate, like different than having a table game with online elements. I think when you're playing a full play-by-post game too, there is a little, you have to almost understand that, especially if you have like a busy week at work or something like that, that things will be happening that you might not be able to constantly keep up with. I
Right.
do, and I have had games that we played at the table and then we did like a whole online, like very fanfic. Like I will admit, like thing where we wrote backstories or scenes from the past and things like that. That added so much to the game, but we also had to be very thoughtful of that and like, okay, like these relationships that have a whole bunch of stuff written, we don't want them to then dominate like the table play and stuff like that too. So it's an interesting balance, especially when you start mixing play by post with actual table play.
Right.
I think the most successful play by post thing I ever did, because I'm an ancient spirit of the internet, was on an actual dial-up BBS,
Oh, okay.
where it was you dialed up, and then the server host gave everybody a number of credits that would give you activities on the server. So, like, you could use a credit to play so many rounds in this automated little game, right? Or you could use one of your credits to make a post in this sort of play-by-post sort of role-playing thing that we were doing. And then it was like, okay, well, that limits how many things I can do per day. And so there wasn't anybody that ran away. It wasn't like there were two players that were like, cool, I'm home all day today, so we're going to just advance the story by a year.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, everybody that had to go to work.
Yeah.
Fuck you. This is our story now, right? Like that it limited all that, and it kept everybody sort of focused because you only had 3 things you could do per day. So if you wanted to play the little game, well, now I only have 2 posts for this RPG. Okay, well, or no, I really got to get some stuff done over here.
Yeah.
Which I always liked, and it was always interesting and fun. But again, that's super old school, and I don't think there's anything like that anymore.
Probably not. And
Because
maybe
now people aren't paying for like by the minute long distance to call in to some dude's computer in his
Oof.
basement. Yeah.
Yeah. Think about those internet bills that my parents must have paid not knowing.
The internet's just expensive, Mom. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I don't know why nobody's called you for a week, Dad. I have no idea. Maybe your friends aren't good. I don't know.
Oh no.
That happened to me one time when I played Ultima Online in senior year of high school. Literally, I was on the computer every minute. I would get home from school at like 3:30 or 4, and depending if I'd swim, it'd be like 4:30 or 5. Get home, play that literally till like 2 in the morning. Get up for swim at 5, and just like repeat. I don't know how I did that. I don't understand. And my dad went like 3 weeks thinking that nobody, because he also worked, so he wasn't there doing that like no one called him. And he finally, like his friend finally got a hold of him. I don't know why. I must have been like sleeping. I don't know. Maybe I had to eat at some point. And like someone got through or saw him at work or something. It's like, I've been calling you for 3 weeks. What is wrong with your phone?
It's always busy.
It's always busy. And my dad was like, I'm sorry, what? I got in so much trouble. Amazing.
My
Okay.
first
Yep.
job paid for my own phone line in my room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went to
Nice.
that pretty quick. All right. Very good. Yeah, so play by post. It's interesting. And I'm glad it's still a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you for joining us for season 36, episode 6 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. Please support our indie designer of the month, Cody Gonzaga. You can find them at justice.itch.io. Amazing games. Yeah, super great stuff. Thank you to our chat mod, James V, and to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. You can join their amazing ranks at happyjacks.org/Patreon. Well, I've been saying it for like 12 years. Like, I really should just be able to say it now. And I don't know.
Nah.
You're fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. It's fine.
It keeps it fresh. It's how we know you're not, robotic.
That's how you know. Oh
Exactly.
my gosh. That's how you know I'm not AI. Like, I
Yes.
screw up all the time. It's my humanity proof.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Humanity. Here we go.
Here we go. My name is Kimmy. You can find my games at goldenlassogames.com. You can find me all over the internet at Golden Lasso Girl. Actually, no. I mean, yeah, technically it's still, the accounts are there, but I'm mostly only on Blue Sky now. And if you ever at like Happy Jacks RPG, it's me. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I'm here on Tuesday nights with Dave.
Mhm.
We play a Electric State actual play called Road to Nowhere. And I play a cult leader. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Hi, everybody. I am Joey. You can find me on all the socials at Feywild85, FEYWILDE85. Kind of in a bit of my hibernation state. I've slowly started to defrost before caroling season takes over my life. So I'll be doing mostly that, but who knows? I might have some stuff coming up soon after. I don't know. The world's weird.
Weird.
Yay!
Yay.
And I'm Kadave. You can find me at the aforementioned Tuesday nights here on Happy Jacks, running Electric State, at least for a few more sessions. I don't know how many more we have left. It kind of depends. We'll have to talk it out as a group and see once goal number 1 is achieved where we're going. Because anybody that's been watching the game, I have barely begun to scratch the barrel of weird roadside shit that I know about in America.
It's amazing. I think it might be the most educational actual play we've ever had. The number of people who reached out being like, I can't believe that the Winchester Mystery Houses are replaced, or that there's actually Ostrich Land,
Yep.
or that the Madonna Inn actually looks as bad as you described it. Like, great. It looks
Yep,
great.
all
It's
of
great.
that. All of that is a thing. And there's so much more out there. We live in a country full of eccentric people, and that's
Yes.
used to be awesome.
I
Not
like
even-
our state especially just has had so many
no.
waves of different weird people.
No, it's
No?
everywhere.
Oh, okay.
There is a whole mess of weird all over.
Okay.
I mean, there was the giant ball of twine. That's not in her state.
No, I know,
Yes.
but those things are like, I don't know. I guess
More than
maybe.
just kitschy, weird little one-note places. There's tons of weird stuff. out
Yeah, I'm sure. People are weird.
But hopefully, fingers crossed, soon the life-changing game for me is getting a sequel, and you'll see me streaming at CA Sith Lord on Twitch for Power Wash Simulator 2, because the first game was just earth-shattering in terms of the most just chill and satisfying thing you can do with a little bit of time to hose off virtual shit. When I have shit in my own house, I could be cleaning. but no. When I clean stuff in my house, it doesn't light up and go ding.
You need an app for that. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
I need like an AI little camera
Doesn't
button.
iHome do that yet?
that when it sees me clean up something, it goes ding, and I go, oh!
Endorphins.
So satisfying. But
That would be
when the
so
second
nice.
game comes out, I will be streaming that on my channel. That's the next game I'm doing. And I'm so excited.
Nice. Oh, hey, it's me. Hey, everybody. My name is Vixie Bell, and I've been your friendly neighborhood Jacker, one of Kimmy and the Jackers, Kimmy's new band.
That's what I need, another
here-
band in my life.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And you can find me everywhere on the internet over at Vixie Bell or over at the Pocket Dragon Pub, where I run, play, and produce games. Most notably, I actually do a lot of stuff here in Happy Jacks. I do the advice show, and you can find me running the Pirates of Dark Water or Pirates of Dark Water, depending on which end of the series you watched. We use the Cypher system because the Hanna-Barbera game was like, here's some stats and some dice, but no system. Yeah. You can tune in as I lead these wonderful players through the world of Myr, where they are looking for the rest of the treasures of Myr, because we are going to finish the series. Dang it. Anyway, yeah. And I think currently I'm also participating in the Roll for Wishes charity event with a lot of other channels and content creators where we raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation through the month of October. So you can find me not just at the Pocket Dragon Pub, but over on a bunch of other channels as well. And you can keep up with my schedule over on socials, because I do a lot. I may not be the most famous person in the world, but you see my face in a lot of places.
You
Did
are
I say
one
it?
of the
Did I?
busiest.
Yeah. Did I tell you that my face ended up in the Gen Con program magazine this year?
No way.
Yes, it's blurry. The rack focus was me in the foreground, so it's like a blurry picture of me. But I was like, "That's my face."
That's
That was pretty cool.
amazing.
Yes. So, anyway, yeah. So find out more. Find me on socials. That's fine. That's what it's there for. So, and I'm everywhere except X because nobody wants to be there. Don't look for me there,
No.
please.
No.
That's a dumpster fire. No.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's everything.
right.
Back to you, Kimmy.
Thank you all so much. We are going to leave you with a song today, whose name I totally remember. It's called the Agincourt Carol.
Ooh.
Totally remembered when I picked it at the beginning of the show. I did not forget, just till now. Agincourt Carol by our friends and also Joy's band, the world famous Poxy Boggarts, and one of my favorite period songs. It's a pretty awesome. Still.
And you may recognize a bit of it if you're an old Warcraft fan.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, absolutely. There's like an Easter egg in there. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye!
Our king went forth to Normandy with grace and might of chivalry. Their God for him wrought marvelously, wherefore England may call and cry. He set a siege, sooth for to say, to Hartford town with royal array. The town he won and made a fray, that France shall rule until doomsday. Deo gratias, Deo gratias, Anglia, Re de pro victoria. Then went our king with all his host, through France fight all the French did boast. He started neither least nor most, till he came to Agincourt coast. Then, forsooth, that comely knight in Agincourt field did manly fight. Through grace of God most mighty, he won both field and victory. Deo gratias, Deo gratias, Anglia, Re de pro victoria. Then dukes and earls, lord and baron, were taken slain, and that well soon. And some were led into London with joy and mirth and great renown. Now gracious God, he save our king, his people and all his good willing. Give him good life and good ending, that we with mirth may safely say. Deo gratias, Deo gratias, Anglia, Re de